This video is for educational purposes and teaching English for a second language learner only. Feel free to download the material and use it in your classroom. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell to let you know when a new episode is available. Hello everyone, many thanks for joining me for another episode of my YouTube channel. Christmas is just around the corner, so we had lots of caroling across Nottingham, from the low-key Founded Green to a little bit, this part of Nottingham which is called the Windmill in Sneinton. So if you are keen to know how we are doing the caroling, so you could actually hear, the caroling as the background sound. Stay tuned and I'll take you across the city from Founded Green to St. Barnaby's to the Windmill and to St. John in Carrington. Stay tuned. For some of us who didn't grow up in a predominantly Christian society, the image of carol singing or carol at Christmas is probably built by imagined scenes from films or other media. You might remember the scene, this one from this definite Christmas film called Love Actually, when one of the characters holding this cue card while claiming to be the carol singers. It was so popular, and then we have lots of memes based on this very scene. I remember that this year, after over 3 years living in this country, when I was sitting in my living room, I faintly heard carol singing for the first time in the neighborhood. I rushed to see what it actually was, but I had to put on my shoes, my jacket, and everything, and I barely made out of the door when it stopped and someone pushed this through my door. So these carol singers are from the nearby church called Cornerstone Church, and the publication is an interesting one just by the look of its cover, blurring the lines between religiosity and the extraordinary with the secular, mundane, worldly preoccupation such as football and paying debt. There are plenty of documentaries about Christmas carols, especially in this time of year. My favorite is probably some of the BBC documentaries, and the one hosted by Howard Goodall. It charts the evolution of carol singing from what it's called plainsong to medieval carol, where the word carol actually means a dance, down to the period where the Franciscans brought it to England. But my actual carol journey starts in the present time at Farndon Green with the congregation of St. Mary's Woollerton Park. It was getting dark and we are advised to bring torches. It was a low-key affair, but very solemn nonetheless. Have a listen.
Christ the Lord was born, what a joyful day, singing filled the air, glory shone around, shepherds on the hillside were astonished by the sound. Oh, have no fear, have you heard, Christ is born today. Go and see him lying there in a manger filled with hay. Hey, then the sky came alive, angels everywhere, singing hymns of joyful praise to the God who sent them there.
The bigger carol service of the same congregation was done at the church in the following week. Another carol service I attended is at the Green Windmill in Sneinton. And if you get a chance to see the introduction. My introduction was taken right at the courtyard of this green mill, and you can actually see the windmill. It was festive with the ukulele band and Father Christmas making an entrance.
Wake up, you see me heading down. Get up, and then cheer up, the sun is red. Laugh and be happy, what a fun. Now I'm walking through the fields of flowers. Rain, Christmas, still having some more hours and hours. I'm just beginning and doing what I did again, singing a song. When the red robin comes, pom, pom, pom. When the red robin comes, pom, pom, pom. When the red robin comes, pom, 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 along.
The carols by candlelight at the Nottingham Cathedral features the magnificent cathedral choir, boys choir, girls choir, with members of the Newark and Sherwood Concert Band playing. My favorite carol is, for the first time I heard this, Joseph's Carol, composed by John Rutter, who admitted that since Joseph has been barely featured in carols, he certainly merits one carol. Joseph's Carol was actually written in 2020 as a tribute to the Oxford COVID-19 vaccine team, premiered in a concert at the Sheldonian Theatre, featuring Sir Bryn Terfel, a wonderful Welsh bass baritone. The lyrics is about the trepidation of a man facing the unknown, and this is a proof that carol composing and performing is very much alive and in keeping with what is going on in the actual social life. The last carol service I attended is the one at St. John's, Carrington. It's a Christmas service for the minority community, their allies and friends. What is interesting about Christmas carols is the fact that what sets them apart from other sacred music is the accessibility of carols for everyone, as everybody can sing these carols. And something that I prove, myself, participating in some carol services across Nottingham. That's it for this edition of Caroling Across Nottingham. I leave you with the beautiful sound that comes from the Nottingham Ukulele Orchestra. I'll be back next week with more updates on what is interesting in the British life and institution. Until then, take care.